Hey guys, it's me, Raquel again, and today I'm going to be talking about 5 must-watch animes. So these are animes that I recommend for pretty much anyone to watch, and really if you're just starting anime and you don't really know what to watch, these are definitely some good picks for you. I made sure to include some of different genres, so we have some sports, some comedy, some dark fantasy, adventure, all that good stuff. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first anime I'm going to talk about is Haikyuu because it's my favorite anime and also the one I recommend to the most people. By chance, Hinata Shoyo sees the famous Little Giant on a televised match of the high school volleyball nationals. The player, nicknamed the Little Giant, is short in stature, much like Hinata, yet is a talented spiker nonetheless. This inspires Hinata to also play volleyball, and despite his lack of height, which is 5 foot 4 inches, Hinata has amazing reflexes and jumping power. Hinata looks to join the volleyball club, only to find out that there is no boys volleyball club, and he would be the only member. Determined to play, he continues to practice whenever and wherever he can, and when he finally gets the bare minimum of players to enter an official tournament, he loses to a top-tier school and meets Kageyama Tobio, a genius setter that can set with pinpoint accuracy. Losing his first and last game of middle school, Hinata declares to Kageyama that he will beat him and be the last one standing on the court. Finishing his last year of middle school, Hinata then gets into Karasuno High School, the alma mater of his idol, the Little Giant, that was once considered a powerhouse, but has since lost that title. Upon joining the volleyball team, he finds out that his declared rival, Kageyama, also goes to Karasuno. Though they bicker with each interaction, they combine their skills to create an attack exclusive to them that shocks every team that comes across it. The Karasuno that is considered the Wingless Crows begins to pave its way back to nationals by the addition of this powerful new duo and the new team dynamic it creates. Basically, a 5'4" ginger with hops plays volleyball and consistently shows up everyone who looks down on him with his insane speedy quick attack he developed with a black-haired genius setter with no people skills. Next we got Demon Slayer, which is pretty popular right now considering they just released a new movie, which I've already watched and I recommend you watch that as well. So we got Tanjiro Kamado, who lives with his family in the mountains and serves as the sole provider for them as his father had previously passed away. As he leaves the town to make more money, he ends up spending a longer time than intended and returns much later, only to find his family massacred and his sister, Nezuko Kamado, on the brink of death and turned into a demon. Desperately looking for someone to help his sister, Tanjiro stumbles upon Demon Slayer Gyu Tomioka. Instead of killing Nezuko for being a demon, he decides to help out Tanjiro and his sister, since Nezuko strangely exhibited signs of human emotion and thought. He told Tanjiro to go to his master, Sakanoji Urodaki, and train to become a Demon Slayer as well, so that he could avenge the death of his family and find out how to turn Nezuko back into a human. Basically, the cinnamon roll of a person has to haul his kid demon sister in a box around every day while he trains in the mountains. Then, once he becomes a demon slayer, he becomes friends with a literal simp and a bore, all while trying to find demons. Third on our list is Dr. Stone, which is a personal favorite of mine and also kind of one of the most underrated animes of this list. Haikyuu's pretty popular, Demon Slayer is pretty popular. The other two are also pretty new, so they're fresh in people's mind. This one also was made in 2019, but just hasn't got the traction that others have gotten, which is kind of sad because it's so funny and interesting, and I wish more people would like it, which is why I included it on this list, so you can know about it and watch it too. One day, a mysterious green light coated the earth and turned all its humans into stone statues. After 3,700 years and all marks of humanity disappeared, high schooler and genius scientist Senku breaks free from the stone and struggles to survive alone in the primitive world. 6 months later, his friend Taiju wakes up as well, and the two work together to survive and discover a method to undo the petrification, which Senku figures out that a key ingredient is the use of nitric acid, and somehow uses scientific knowledge to bring back humanity. Basically, a scientific genius rebuilds modern technology and tools in a primitive world and teaches science to people who don't even know what bubbles are. Moving on to Fruits Basket, and for this one we're going to talk about the 2019 version, which I've only seen maybe a few episodes of the 2001 version, but I'm definitely liking the 2019 remake. Orphaned high school freshman Toru Honda is faced with continuous struggles, yet still remains optimistic. She's forced to live in a tent until she meets Yuki, Kyo, and Shigure Soma, of which she moves in with when her tent gets crushed in a landslide. Almost immediately after their meeting, she discovers their family secret, that they and 9 others of the Soma family are possessed by the animal spirits of the Chinese zodiac. Their curse causes them to shift into their animal forms when they are stressed, weakened, or embraced by anyone of the opposite sex that is not possessed by the zodiac. Toru, living with the Somas and meeting more and more of the zodiac members, learns about the hardships they've endured and through her kind nature helps to heal their emotional wounds. Basically, a high school girl plays therapist for a group of half-human, half-animal beings. Period. Lastly, we got Jujutsu Kaisen. So first-year high school student Yuji Itadori spends most of his afternoons visiting his grandpa in the hospital. Despite his superhuman strength, he joins the occult club instead of the track team, only to avoid their obsessive time commitment. He spends his days carefree, enjoying the horror stories his upperclassmen tell for their club activities. That is, until he finds a cursed artifact at his school and gives it to his upperclassmen, who decide to break the seals after hours at school. Unbeknownst to Yuji, the artifact in question was actually a high-grade curse, a dangerous object that Jujutsu sorcerer Megumi Fushiguro needed to recover. Unfortunately, Megumi was too late in trying to persuade Yuji to give him the cursed object, as he had already given it to his upperclassmen. The two were also too late to stop them from breaking the seal that contained the curse's power that was able to draw other curses to it. Megumi was the only one capable of warding off the curses, yet struggled at the sheer amount that were summoned. Backed into a corner, Yuji took it upon himself to try and save Megumi. He did so by consuming the cursed object, which would give him the strength and ability to fight curses. Yes, he literally ate a finger. A crusty, dusty finger. Anyways, despite Megumi's opposition, Yuji swallowed the thing and the curse inside of it, which released the curse's power. The curse was in fact the king of curses, the demon Sukuna. Basically, a high school boy with pink hair and inhumane strength decides to eat a crusty finger and decide to save a dude he just met. Also, he has to share a body with a 1,000-year-old curse that lives rent-free in his head.